Hey there, Joey's.
Hello.
Are you feeling better now that you've gotten back
Oh
from?
man, my head literally hurt for days after the conference. It
You guys
hurt
don't know what
so
we're
bad.
talking about. We're talking about Vidsummit, the Vidsummit conference.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's okay. We'll talk about it. But literally I got done and my head was hurting because there was so many things that I was like, oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do this. And it literally like I just hurt. I had to take and just do a brain dump for a couple days and take everything that I had learned, watched, done, and then like put a strategy behind it and to it. And even then, it was crazy.
So they even have tickets already starting. You can
Yeah,
already buy tickets for 2024. I'm just letting you know right now. We don't get anything from this, by the
yeah, no,
way. There's no like special, anything. But if you want to get tickets, you can just Google Vidsummit 2024, and it's the cheapest it will be right
yep.
now.
It'll
Or
get
it's
more expensive.
as time goes on, it gets more expensive. But
And
we
the other thing, I don't know about you because you stayed in Airbnb, but we tried to book and it was a few months ahead, and all the hotel right across from the convention center was completely booked out.
Yep.
So we had to go down about a block to, well, a little longer than a block, but it would have been nice to be right next to the convention center. So
Vidsummit this year was so much better than the year previous, like by a mile. When it had gone into LA, it kind of turned into a fan thing, and this is really for creators. So moving it to Dallas was probably the smartest thing uh,
yeah,
they
for a
did.
lot of reasons. One, they outgrew the venue, and
So
in
nice.
in LA, even though it was convenient for a lot of creators because it was right by LAX, like the airport in Dallas, it was 10 minutes away. So, and the venue is so much bigger. Like, did you notice in the keynote, like how much room they have to grow?
Hmm.
Where when they did the keynote in LA, it was like
Standing.
standing room only.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. But I have. Speaking of keynotes, that Zach, the guy that's a
Zach
magician,
King.
Zach King, his
Mhm.
was so good.
It's
That was
amazing.
amazing. He was talking a lot, which I think everybody really needs to hear. It doesn't matter what level you're in, you have failure throughout your career, right? And
Yep.
he was talking about all the things that he failed at. It didn't have
For
anything
years.
for years that had nothing to do with YouTube. Of course, YouTube helps his other side projects that he wants to get into, and so is all the successes that you see, and people think he's on the pinnacle of these things. He went through all the ideas that he's had, that he genius ideas he had
Yeah.
that
That
were
thought was just gonna take off and it was gonna make him a millionaire and all this stuff.
yeah, total failures. And it was a reminder, no matter what business you're in, whether real estate or whatever, that some of the best successes that you have in life is because of a bunch of failures.
Right.
And that was a great talk. But as far as like marketing and everything else, that like AI ruled the roost.
Yeah.
I didn't even write down all the AI tools that could really help all of us.
I
Once
have
I
a list of 492 different AI tools that they talked about, and their links and the cost and everything. It's in a spreadsheet. If you want it, you can message us. We'll get you a copy. But there are 492 different websites of all the AI stuff. Crazy.
I mean, pretty much, if you really like got into it, from what I gathered, you could basically do a video without ever actually picking up a camera.
Yeah,
one
it's
of the AI tools that I have to tell you about, this was crazy. So you basically keep talking and saying these sentences into this AI reader, right? And so by the time it says, okay, we've got your voice pattern and cadence down, now you can upload your script. So you could upload your entire script to this thing and it would read it off. Do you know how easy that would make it so much easier for me? Because I can't read to save my life.
right.
So I was like, if I could do that for some clips with a bunch of B-roll over it, just maybe one or two, three clips in a video. Oh, save my life. Save my life.
Yeah, and it's so crazy how well the AI is at making it like making you sound like it sounds like you.
Yes. Yeah. It's not perfect, but they're getting better every day. So
It's
every day you look at AI today, it's the worst it's ever going to be.
yeah, it's
Every
only
day,
going to get better.
every day it's going to get better. The worst version of AI is right now, and it's amazing. And they keep coming up with new things. So that's
I
going to be awesome.
Yeah, one
What'd
of
you
the
get
things
out
that
of it?
I did, so in Daryl's talk, he was talking about AI and localization and doing it in different languages. So I took
Yes.
a clip for one of my companies because I do property management on one of my companies, and I uploaded it and had it translate the video to Spanish. And
Hmm.
what was crazy is it literally was my voice and it moved my mouth, but it was all Spanish.
Mm.
And it was, and I was like, "Oh, I that's," and I speak Spanish a little bit, and, but it was, like, on point, like, but and so I sent it to a couple of my friends, and they're like, "Dude, how did you have time to, like, record that in Spanish and do all," I'm like, "Dude, I AI did it. I just uploaded the English version, and it analyzed everything and then spit it out." It
This was
was
what
so crazy.
This was one of our students that actually went to Vidsummit. Sean, tell us what you learned from Vidsummit, and we'll put it up on the
Yeah, we'll
screen.
put it on the screen.
We had several students that showed up to Vidsummit. We had, I think, six
5 or
students.
6, yep.
Yeah, which is pretty good because we just started this
Yeah, we
course.
just started the course, yeah.
Yeah, so I was pretty impressed with her show on there, but, all and we met, on the last day for lunch, and all of them said the same thing that I had said when I'd gone to my very first Bid Summit, and that was, "I'll never go to another real estate conference again," because a lot of what you learn at real estate conferences, you'll find out from the people that actually are marketers, we were taught wrong. We were
Yeah.
taught dead wrong. So
And the thing that I love is the culture of VidSummit, that you can be next to someone and have no idea that they have hundreds of millions of views, and that they have, and they'll talk to you and they'll tell you like their things of how they do it. It's very transparent, I was there and I felt like so like everyone was so positive about
Mhm.
everything going on. And what was crazy is that you could literally talk with just about anybody and they would have something that you could take and apply it to, the real estate industry.
I was talking to this kid and I was like, "Oh, are you?" Because there was editors in this group, and I'm like, "Oh, are you an editor? Are you a content creator?" And he's like, "Oh, I have, I have a channel. I make videos." I'm like, "Oh, cool." And I'm like, "What's your channel?" And he tells me, right? So I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." I'm like, "So you make kids, like kids content?" He was like, "Oh, like 14, 15, that age group." I'm like, "Oh yeah, like kind of like a Mr. B style kind of thing." He was like, "Yeah, a little bit." I'm like, "Oh, all right." And then anyways, we were talking and I'm like, I mentioned the fact that I had gotten that A/B testing tool that now it's actually ABC testing tool from YouTube. And he's like, "Yeah, I've had it for a little while now." I'm like, "Oh, what do you think?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's really great." And I said, "I have to show you this thumbnail that won." I was like, "It's literally hideous. In a million years, I would never have picked this thumbnail." And he gave me a little nugget of information. He said, and everybody should take note of this, that he's noticed that YouTube has been favoring thumbnails that have more realistic images on them. Not necessarily for his specific age group, but he's in a group with a lot of people, and a lot of them are in the finance space. And the ones that have less like cartoony images, ones that have like real houses in the background, like you can still cut out your image and still have the house in the background, but make sure it's not a stock imagery house, like it's an actual house. And he said, of course, you can saturate those colors and you can bring all that up, but they want to see real imagery in the background.
That's
And I'm
very
like,
interesting.
I was like, oh. So, anyways, I find out what his channel is. I look it up. It's this kid named Zealous. He's like got 4.5 million subscribers. So I was like, I'll test that.
Yeah,
I think the kid may know what he was talking about. I'm gonna go ahead and test that. We'll see what happens. It will be an interesting test because I do have that, that AB testing
Yeah, the
tool.
testing now that you have, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So Sean says, I learned that there are so many mind-blowing possibilities, too many to count. Gutting to get busy now and implementing. AI will be one of my first tools to learn. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, that you really discover that your YouTube channel is so much more than just a lead source. It
Right.
has the opportunities are endless of what you can do with your YouTube channel. If you're just making videos and hoping to the, YouTube gods that you get leads, there's so much more to it. And there's so much more ways you can make money that don't even have anything to do with selling a house. And even if that's not on your radar right now, it should be, because
Right.
everybody knows the market's stagnant right now. There
Yeah,
isn't enough
and real
supply.
estate ebbs and flows, right?
Yep.
It's a cycle, and so if you have the opportunity to make more money doing the same things, but just implementing a few little tweaks to where you can create side income, and you're already doing the same thing, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you want to sign up for affiliate links or other things to get more money? Like, that's the thing, is if you're offering good value. And one of the things that they talked a lot about at Vidsummit was content. That content is still king. You still have to have good content. You can't just sling whatever out there and hope that people are going to fall in love with you. That, like, you have to provide value and have good content. But when you do that, you're rewarded for that content.
Yeah. And what people don't understand is content isn't just the video. The,
Right.
the content is the whole entire package. That is the content, the thumbnail, the title, the descriptions, the pinned comments, everything. The whole thing is a package. And if something's off, that's why your video isn't
You know,
successful. Content.
there was a comment. Did you watch? I think we were watching this one together with John Ushea. Did you
Mhm.
watch his? And he was talking in his presentation about that YouTube, your video is like a present and it's under a Christmas tree. And your title and your thumbnail are the packaging for your video content. And if you have really good packaging, it makes people want to open it up to see what's inside. And I really liked that analogy. I thought it was so well explained, that you can make the packaging just so nice and so desirable that it really just compels you, and it enhances the whole tree
Mhm.
when you have good packaging. And it was just kind of a side note of oh, I've never really thought of it that way, but that makes a lot of sense, that the first things that you see are a thumbnail, and then you read the title. So, like, those things were really, really insightful. So, and it's stuff what we've always been talking about, but it's just a different angle and a different way of explaining, like, how important a thumbnail really is, how important the title really is.
Years ago, I used to like when nickname and it said, "Oh, your thumbnails are garbage." I'm like, he doesn't understand my niche.
Yeah,
Like he just doesn't know. Like has he
right.
ever seen other real estate content? Mine is the best. Like I was unwilling to accept that kind of information, and of course, he was right. That's the one thing you have to always learn when you go to any conference is to be open to being wrong about things that you thought you were really right about. That goes true of any kind of training too.
Right.
Um, you know,
Right.
it's
You
you
have
know,
to you have to be willing to take advice, but you're getting advice from people that actually know what they're talking about. I think that's the
mhm.
difference. Is every speaker that was speaking at the conference, and every person that did keynotes, all of these people were handpicked because of their expertise, because they know how YouTube works and they know how to grow. And some of them didn't have. I John, his channel 3 years ago he only had, I think he said he had, what, 9,000 subscribers or something like that. It was really, really,
Mhm.
like, almost 10,000. And then he went to Vidsummit, and it, like, changed his whole thing. And he was so on. He was like, I want to speak. I want to speak at Vidsummit. It took him 2 years, but he was on stage speaking at Vidsummit from his very first time going there.
When I went to VidSummit, I had 3,000 like 600 subscribers, and that the VidSummit at that time was in October.
Yep.
And by December 31st, right before the beginning of the year, I hit 10,000 subscribers because I like took the information that I had learned from people at Vidsummit to understand like I'm doing this all wrong. I'm
Yeah.
doing this all wrong. So there's a lot to be learned. But the one thing that Daryl's speech taught me, and I know we were talking about this earlier and taught you too, and we ended up having a long discussion afterwards about it, was owning your own data. Like
Right.
YouTube owns us. If tomorrow your business if your business like myself is on YouTube and YouTube decides to take your channel offline, what do you do then? You know? So we talked a lot
Right.
about your
Yeah,
data.
that's a real thing that happens, that people, when you use these big platforms, it can be YouTube, it can be Facebook, it can be Instagram, whatever it is, doesn't really matter. What matters, and what Daryl was talking about, is that if you don't own your content, then you don't really own anything, because at any point you can be shut down. And we've talked a lot about this, as well as saying, you know what, we want to build from the ground up. Like the course that we have, we want to own the content. We want to make
Mhm.
sure that we are not subject to some policy, or that they change the terms of services and now you get handcuffed and you're not able to do it. And so we've also incorporated that into what we do. And so as we were talking, we're like, we do a lot of channel reviews, and we do so many channel reviews where people don't really have a great squeeze page or a great place to actually collect their data and to own the data. Like it's either on a KV core, or it's on some, and again, that's a whole nother system that, like, technically, if they decided to turn off the export, you don't have access to your data anymore. And people say, well, they would never do that. Uh, I'm telling you, like, if you don't have access to do it, like, I guarantee you, you want to stay away from any kind of system like that. And so part of the reason that we're even bringing this up is because we actually have a system that we're implementing, where agents can sign up and get squeeze pages and automation, and they get to own their data. They get
They
to
own it.
own the CSV. They get to have all of that stuff available to them, and it's not tied to any major system that is, like YouTube or Facebook or any of these other places. It's literally their
Yours.
own system.
And not only that, you know how like whenever we're doing these channel reviews, and you'll see that we always tell people like you have too many links in your channel. You want it to go to one specific site. So I always say make a squeeze page, make one squeeze page, or have Calendly. Instead of having Calendly own your data, own your own. So this
Right.
squeeze page and all the little pages that you can have with it is your whole entire system, and you own all of it. You like the Calendly thing isn't Calendly, it's yours. And you can book your appointments through it. You can use it as a CRM, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
You,
CRM. You can actually have it. So the way that it's very customizable, but at the end of the day, like, what it can do is it can replace all of the things that you're using right now for your CRM, for your lead gen, for booking appointments, especially if you're trying to do what we're doing through YouTube and sending them somewhere to where you can get leads. And I think that's the biggest thing, is getting people to have one place where it's very easy, it's very customizable, and you can have multiple pages so that you can track where, because let's say you're doing more than just YouTube, and you have, like, Facebook ads going, or Instagram or TikTok, and you want to be able to track the leads and tag them. This system does all of that.
Nate said, so it's better case for creating an email list for YouTube videos. Yeah. So you would be creating a YouTube lead list basically for drip mail campaigns. So you would own that data. And
But
then,
But
and
the
then
other thing that yeah, but the other thing that it does is that it will, when you fill out the information, it's the automation that's important, because following up on a lead is what's your biggest thing. And so you can have it set up to where it will automatically text them and email them that you've received their information, and it can text you and email you their information. So you don't even have to check your email. You can just get a text, and then you touch the phone number and you can call them. So it's super automated.
And then it simplifies everything too. Because one of the
So
things I've learned, I learned the hard way, because I had a WordPress website. And literally this WordPress site, I mean, it did everything. It had a blog post. It was connected to IDX. I had all sorts of like pages on there. I had pop-ups. It was always like I had to, make sure that everything was working correctly in this thing. It was a constant babysitting problem. And honestly, I didn't get as many leads as I probably should have because I didn't simplify the process of people getting to me and reaching me. The minute I turned off that, I literally erased that website from my YouTube channel, and I moved it to a much simpler page where all they could do is fill out a form instantaneously. Like, I started crying. I couldn't believe how just simplifying everything made it so much easier for a person to get a hold of you. And it took the intimidation out of it, of like hitting the wrong button, basically.
Right.
And so just simplifying that process made it easier for the people trying to get a hold of me and easier for me to get a hold of them. And so this is great. I like when Joe told me he was doing this, I'm like, that this is a complete Joe thing. I wouldn't have known how to do this. He's the genius behind this thing.
Well, the thing is, though, is it's exactly like what we talk about, is that you work so hard at putting content out. You work so hard at getting good information, and you want to make it as super simple and as easy as possible to get that lead, and then to be able to nurture the lead, categorize it, whatever you want to do from that. But what we've found in doing, lots, and my, obviously I do a lot of lead generation, lead background, that kind of stuff, is the simpler, just like Christina said, the simpler, the better. And if it's something that you don't have to do, it's just set up and done, and it just goes through your phone. You can do a subdomain or however you want to do it. It's super easy to do. But the thing that makes it awesome, we already got someone that signed up on it.
Perfect.
It just came through. That's what I'm talking about. It's like it just automatically sends that stuff in there. But at the end of the day, like, what we want is for you to make a lot more money. And part of that is organizing to have good lead gen. And so having the stuff on YouTube is extremely important. And we're still going to focus on YouTube and about making your channel grow and all of these things. But what we've found is that, if you can't get them to fill out a form, if you can't get a form that is working, and we have one that's tried and true, like we have generated hundreds and hundreds of leads from nothing, just from our Real Estate Geeks channel, where we have spent $0 in advertising, yet we have hundreds and hundreds of leads that are 99 to 99.8% accuracy as far as the deliverabilities, and our open rates are great. That's what you want, is you provide that value. We're not doing anything new. Everything that we're telling you, we're doing right now. Like, we do that.
Right. But the one thing I can honestly say is that you can have a ton of different programs to do all this. We want you to own this. Like, this is yours. This is your stuff. We'll never take it away from you. It's different when you sign up for a lot of these services, because at any time they can pull the plug. You own this. It belongs to you. It's like, it will always be yours. So that's
the biggest takeaway is that going back from what Daryl had talked about, like, we both talked to each other and we're like, oh my gosh, we're so glad we have our system in place, because had we not, like, we'd be compromised just like all these other people. And so that's what kind of got me thinking, man, we probably should offer something like this to our students and to agents that want to own their data.
Yep. And next week we're going to talk about security and owning your data. So that'll be next week's live stream. We're going to talk about that a lot, because that was a big theme. And Joe and I know a channel personally that lost their channel. They got it back, but they have to kind of almost like restructure their whole entire channel now, because
they were big,
huge, big, like a multi-million-dollar business from their channel
and their security. And if you think, no, it's fine, like, we'll get into it next week, but I was blown away at how sneaky people are at getting access to your channel.
I learned some stuff, and I set it up as soon as I got home.
Yeah.
I lost the key that I
have mine still.
I lost mine. I think it fell out of my bag, but I had one at home anyways. But we'll talk about that next week. We'll talk.
Yeah.
But we have so many channels we need to review this week.
Yes, we better get to it. They're
We
probably
better
like
get
chomping at the bit going, quit talking about how I can make more money and just review my channel.
Yeah, I know. But we did say that it is about what we learned about Vidsummit, and they need to know that for next year. Like honestly, I mean, if you never buy anything from us, it's fine. But at
Go to
least
Vidsummit.
go to Vidsummit. Just go to have your eyes opened with the possibilities of what your channels could possibly do. Whether you're a local channel or not, it doesn't matter. The possibilities is endless. And especially the market has slowed. I mean, we're not selling as many houses. So be open to that idea of making money in different ways other than selling a house. I mean, you're making the videos anyways. You might as well get a little extra money somewhere else. All right, here we go. We got the first one. Life in Montana, real estate Bozeman.
All right.
All right, let's talk about this banner. This is a student of ours, by the way.
Yes, it is. I recognize Kyler.
Yep.
All right. So he obviously needs to update it because there's no links over on the right-hand side. So no, don't need to do that. The subscribe again, you need he's kind of got like mixed messages of like he has some value and proposition, and then it's like subscribe and a logo. It like if you're in Montana and you're in Bozeman, like it's beautiful up there. Like I'd focus on that background. If you guys still want to have your pictures on there, that's totally fine, but have something more that you're going to offer your viewer and not so much about yourselves.
Yeah. And even like we always tell you to put some kind of value proposition here. I don't even know what the value proposition. It would be something that you want the subscriber or future subscriber or somebody to understand what your channel is about and make them interested enough to watch your videos, right? Yeah. So this is like
those are more like keywords,
yeah.
Like you're just literally just saying like life in Montana, real estate, and Bozeman.
Yeah, it's like word vomit. So I would make it more like what real estate is really like in Montana. Boom. Yeah. Done. Then there's a value to that, And so, yeah, I'd agree with you. Take this off. I would take this little H thing and move it all the way to the left-hand side in the corner over here. I'd move that Keller Williams over in the other corner on the other side. You don't need to advertise for your broker. It might be a requirement that you have it on there, but you don't have to stick it in the middle. Throw it on the left.
Yeah, it can be on the side as a secondary thought.
Yeah, exactly. So these little logos, nobody attaches themselves to them. Move it over here. Also, let's get into I don't mind the channel name, by the way, but I don't like the logo as your profile picture. I think it should be a picture of you guys in the.
I agree.
Yep. People don't connect with logos unless you're like Coca-Cola or Doritos or something like that. They connect with people and they want to see your faces. So that's what I would suggest with your profile picture. Anything you want to add to that, my friend?
No, I think you're spot on with it for sure.
All right, let's go to his about section really quick. All right, this channel is all about living in Montana as well as buying and selling real estate. We are real estate agents that are passionate about Montana and want to share the big sky with you. Montana lifestyle is unlike any other, there's no wonder why Montana is considered the best place, the last best place. Oh, okay, that's cute. Yeah. I actually don't hate this. I mean, they do talk about themselves a little bit, but it isn't like in your face, me, look what I can do. I've sold all these houses.
Yeah. I do think that they could take that the Montana lifestyle is unlike any other and start with that.
Right. Yeah. Move that sentence up to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I would take the subscribe to our channel off because they know they're on YouTube. They know how to subscribe. If this was like 2007, yeah, you probably need to give them some instructions, but you don't need to do that in your about section. And I would only put in this part right here is the way to contact you. And what you're going to do, Kyler, is you're going to sign up for that. for that
the squeeze page.
The squeeze page is, so we can help you there. That's what, and that will bring everything down to a level that makes it easier for you and the people to get a hold of you. Because now you have your email address, you have your phone number, then you have your website. You're giving them too many options. If you give them one option, it's going to be a lot easier for you and for them. Let me see what the links are. Yeah, see, even here with the links, stop with all this and take them straight to a squeeze page where you capture their information, because that's what you really want.
Yep. You want them to be reaching out to you and that they don't have any other option either to fill it out or to close out the window. That's literally the two options that you want to give them.
Right. And, and I know a lot of real estate agents are like, well, I want to show them the properties. What is it? What does that do for you? If they're just looking at your IDX properties and you're not capturing their information. Now I know like KV Core and some of the other ones will capture the information, but a lot of the other ones like IDX doesn't. So I would just take them to one place, because what you really want them to do, because most of them are looking on Zillow. And
yeah, I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that, like, you might have the IDX, but the problem is that it's very localized, and most people are going to be on Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, something like that. When they're looking, and then if you already have the relationship with them, then they just send you the number or the address from that. So you're not, like, in my opinion, I don't think as an agent, and I'll probably get a lot of heat for this, but like, I don't think that having an IDX website really matters as much anymore.
Yeah. I need to cancel mine. That reminds me. I'm paying for it on a website that I closed. Like, well,
yeah, you're like, oh, sweet, I don't even use it anyways. Oh, it's just done everything that it's always done. I would say that there was a point in time when that was very valuable, and that was before we started giving our information to Zillow and then them selling us back the leads, which is like I could go on a rant about that all day long. But at the end of the day, now they're most likely, they already know what they want to see. Now what you're trying to do is give them something that they don't know or something that they don't have, and it gives them that value where they're like, hey, this person knows about this, or this person is very expertise. I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to talk to them and learn more about this because I'm very interested in it. That's why you want that squeeze page, is because you've offered value first before you're asking for their information. A lot of times the IDX is like backwards. It's like, hey, register, and then we'll let you see the stuff. And people just don't like to do that.
Exactly. So let's talk about his thumbnails really quick. So it says major regrets after moving to Montana. Then he has Montana and regrets on it. So he's reiterating the title on the thumbnail, not as blatantly as some. And then it says the dark side of Montana. I would take the word Montana off of these thumbnails, and then like, major regrets after moving to Montana. You're moving, right?
I'd have like a moving truck or something like that to show it.
Yeah, I would have moving truck, right? And then on like a little sign that says, "Oh no."
Yeah.
Or this sucks. Something like that, like in a little speech bubble. And then you can have your face like this. Then it tells the story of what the title is about, right?
Yeah, and you already have regrets, so you don't need that on there twice.
Right. And then this one, I don't know how it relates to real estate, the dark side of Montana. Like, I don't understand.
Maybe he's talking more about like drugs and crime and all that kind of stuff.
Right, but
it's not like real estate. Is it like to avoid? Like that's where, like, I think a title change in a little bit. I think he's still. I don't think he may not even have. Have we even talked about the playlist part yet in the course?
Yeah. He's just. I mean, he's going.
Well, I don't think he's caught up to that part yet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's got time. We're still marinating him. We're still marinating. All right. But other than that, I mean, honestly, they're clear, easy to read. Your face is good that you can see the whites of your eyes. You have some good elements in here. I was going through your thumbnails really fast, and I can honestly say this was my favorite one. And then I looked and I'm like, oh, look, that's the best views you have. And then this one was a good one too. Don't move to Bozeman. The two that I really loved were the ones that you had the most success with in the last year or so.
And they're simple. They're very simple.
Yep. That was another thing that we learned from Vidsummit. Simplify. They kept saying that.
Yep.
like simplify your thumbnails, more
Make
complicated.
them simple, less.
Yeah, the best advice I could ever give to a person, and somebody has told me that was the best advice I gave them about thumbnails, is that don't tell the person what the title is about. Just give them the thumbnail and say, "Tell me what you think the title of this by looking at this picture, what do you think the title of this video is?" If they're nowhere near that, then you
You
need
got
to
to
start
change
over.
it.
You
Yep.
got to start over. So sometimes I need to follow my own advice, by the way.
We all do.
Yeah. All right. So we're moving along. I hope that was really helpful for you we're going to be moving along to the next one because we got a lot of these to get through. All right. We know who this is. This is Scott Chen. He just launched his channel like a month ago?
A
Yeah.
little over a month ago, like I think 39 days or something like that.
39 days. He has 12 videos, 409 subscribers. He is knocking it out of the park. He's already gotten 13,000 views to his channel. He is ready to go. Look at this. All right. All right, here we go.
Look at that. 2 days ago, 2.6 views. Like that's 2.6
thousand views.
Yes, the laser eyes.
I told him to do that, and he was like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm telling you, it's a thing." So he did it. Yeah. He's gotten really good with his thumbnails, but
He
again,
has.
we've worked with him on these. And not every video when he first comes out is successful, but he's been doing fantastic work. I'm really proud of him. His third video that came out, 24,000 views. Check it out. I mean, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, well, let's look at your about section because we already know you're a rock star. All right, here we go. I do like his value proposition, by the way.
Yeah, it's perfect. We don't even need to talk about it because it's great.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
The other thing I like, just go back up real quick. I do want to like this goes to show his personality.
Right.
Like that's what I like is when you get to know him, he's super funny. But like you wouldn't when you look at him, you were like, oh, seems like he'd be really serious. And then he's not. He's like very funny. He's just very, but he just he's just a likable person. And so like he's letting his personality go like shine through on this. And I think some agents are so afraid to be themselves. And that's another thing that Vidsummit talked a lot about is being authentic. Be you. Don't try to be someone else. Be yourself. And they said that the trademark is broadcast yourself. Like they're basically saying we all are unique. We're all that. So don't try if someone's doing something, don't jump on it just to be like them, but be unique. And that's when you'll find that you're going to get your people and build your community around that. So I just wanted to put that plug in because I think as real estate agents, we sometimes get in this thing where we look at someone's channel and we go,
duplicate, rip off, duplicate, rip off, duplicate.
How do I do exactly the same thing? And then they're mad because it's not working.
Yeah. Because they're not, well, there's many reasons for that.
Right.
But not being yourself is one of those things. And he has a dog. I mean, how can you not?
Yep.
All right. So he started his channel on June 5th, 2023. The channel is designed, this channel is designed to enhance your understanding of real estate. Our aim is to educate you on various aspects of investing, purchasing, and selling properties. Through our content, we strive to equip you with a comprehensive knowledge of everything related to real estate. Additionally, we debunk prevalent misconceptions and falsehoods surrounding the real estate market in the United States. Holy cow, you've used some big words. The only thing I would tell you that I want, and this is going to sound super harsh, but a good portion of the United States only has a reading comprehension level of an 8th grade level.
Yep.
So maybe you want to just kind of bring back the words. I know that prevalent and misconceptions doesn't seem like they're big words, but just some people, they couldn't even probably read it. So
one thing you could do that's super fast, put it in ChatGPT and have it rewrite it at an 8th grade reading level. And then you can just test it.
I do that all the time. Yep.
I do it so I can understand stuff. Sometimes I'm like, I don't understand what they're talking about. Explain this to me as if I'm a 5th grader.
I've done that with some articles and I'm like, why are they talking in riddles? Like, are they just trying to sound smart? Just tell me what you mean. And so I put it in ChatGPT and I'm like, oh, they really are just being dingleberries. There was no reason to add all that fluff and other sandwiches. All right. So he says, reach out to me or book a call with me and then it's Real Estate Informed TV. I hope this goes to a landing page. If it doesn't, I'm gonna be really, really mad. I mean, mad at you, Scott.
I think it does. He does like. I'd be really surprised if it doesn't.
I will too, but I'm gonna be. Oops, I did the wrong thing. Christina did the wrong thing. Hold on, where are we?
No, because you copied the little bracket too.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that brings up a point: is he needs to go in and verify his channel so that it's in hyperlink.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, you just go into your settings. Oh, it does. All right, here we go. I'm gonna show you. It does. He listened. I'm very happy. All right. Here's a little landing page. It says book a call with me.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah, book a call with me. Yep. So simple. And I mean, honestly, this was see, look, it only does two things: request a collaboration, need a referral. That's it. That's all he can do on this page. That's it. So smart.
Yep.
He listened. I'm so glad. I'm so proud of my baby boy. So proud.
You know, I was reading some comments, and on one of his videos that he just released like a week ago, I think his first comment was that the person filled out the form, and then they went on the YouTube channel and said, "Hey, I went in and filled out the form just to let you know." So like they really wanted to get a hold of him for something.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it works. Like that stuff works. But that and it wasn't like, oh, they filled the form out. They wanted to make sure he knew that they filled it out in case. So what that tells me is that people's forms sometimes they're broken. Like these are things that like this is your like livelihood. And if you have an error and it's not coming through, you need to make sure you're testing that to make sure that it's going where it should be going.
So Kyler says that the logos are on the edge for mobile. Nobody needs to see your logos. I know you're attached to them. You probably spend a lot of money on them. Move them over to the left. Nobody on mobile needs to see your logos. I assure you, with every fiber of my being,
they'll be just fine without them.
Yep, just
they'll move. I don't think you'll get a comment saying, "Why don't you have your logo on there?" I do think
I can't see your logo on mobile. Nobody's gonna say that. We're not making fun of you.
Tyler, you'll jump on the call late on our call and we'll talk about it.
Yep. Kyler, he said, squeeze page in progress. So smart. Well, we have them for you too. So I'm here for these reviews. Yeah. Oh, I think we have to do Aaron Murrow's too. He was, for some reason, he got dropped off. So we have to go ahead and if you can pull his channel up for me, and we're going to go to this one and then pull up Aaron's if you could for me.
Let me see what I got here.
Let me see what I got. All right. While you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and show this channel right here. Share this tab instead. Eric Larkin. We've had you on here before, my friend. All right. Real. Living, working, playing, real estate, Cocoa Beach in the Space Coast. This, again, sounds like a keyword. Just, I don't know. There's no value proposition in this. I would work on that a little bit. What is your value proposition to the person like that lands on your channel? I would be like, what real estate is like in the Cocoa Beach and the Space Coast, something like that. So that way they're like, oh, you're gonna give me the truth about, oh, look at Eric, he's got some views going on in the last 30 days, 13,800 views. Good on you, my friend. Good on you. All right, 7 things to know before you rent a home. All right, cost of living in Brevard. I think you should just like amp up your the quality of your thumbnails just a bit. I don't think they're terrible. I just think they're just missing the mark just a bit. The size of your head on this one is good, but the background you chose is very odd because it actually like blends
with your skin.
Yeah,
it's a little. I was just gonna say I like looking at it, I was a little confused about what what I mean, I get the idea of things skyrocketing and all of that kind of stuff, but like to simplify that or to make it better, having like an arrow or something that's just going up with a dollar sign is like, in my opinion, that, and you don't need, is it affordable? Like you could do those two things with a question mark or something like that, and it's going to get the point across a lot better. But the color is just a interesting color. I probably wouldn't have, I would have, like the two right next to them pop way more than that middle one.
So if it was me for this thumbnail, I would have behind him a map that says Brevard at the bottom, and then I would have that little spaceship thing, like showing the spaceship smoke, but with a house
That'd be
on
cool.
it. Yeah. So you like a map, and like where it says Brevard, and then the spaceship smoke coming out of a house, like going up in the air. That's what I would have done. That would make more sense. This is you wouldn't even need the words.
Yeah,
And
that's what I was saying. You could just with a couple little things, you can make the same idea without having to say, "Is it affordable?" Because
yep,
you're essentially saying the like the same thing in the title and in the thumbnail.
right.
It's just, the opposite. Cost of living, is it affordable? Like, and that's not a really like juicy title either.
Hmm.
Like that's something that you want to get something that would like make them want to click on it. Like, the real cost of living in Brevard County or something like that, or what 5 things they don't tell you about living, or 5 lies. You love the whole lies thing.
Hmm.
So there's
Yep.
like little things like that, but just adjusting your titles a little bit. I was reading through a few of them and they're just kind of bland.
They're very SEO friendly ish, if you were a complete search channel. And you hear me talk about this a lot. And sure, it's fine when you start off a channel and you're going for those search traffic, but you're going to plateau. It's going to stop. You're not going to get any more traffic than what you're already getting. Every year it's going to be consistently the same because you're not trying for those bigger numbers. And the more views you're going to get, the more possibilities that people are going to click on your Calendly link, because you have it smart. You have your schedule to call right here, top of the page, top of the fold. Smart, right? So like we want as many people to get to your channel as possible. So I would do that. So you have a call, and then you have a contact form, and then you have a buyer's guide and a seller's guide. I'd remove these buyer's guides and seller's guides unless, let me see, unless it's required to share. Yeah, see, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine because
That's fine.
he's getting their data
Yeah,
anyways.
that works. Okay. I take it back. Yeah, that's smart, right? I still just want their phone number. Honestly, I don't even like their email address is fine and everything, but I want their email address and I want their phone number. I want to talk to them.
Yeah,
Because as soon as you get them on the phone, and you know as well as I do, as soon as they hear your voice and you're willing to listen to them, you have
they're sold.
you have a customer. You have a client that's going to buy something from you. So, anyway. All right, we got more to go. I know we're kind of rushing through these, but we have like 5 more to do and we only have 10 more minutes. So, can you see this one? It's Daphne.
Yep, you can see it.
Yep. All right. This is her let's go with her banner first. Go ahead.
So I mean, right off the bat, it's, they're talking about her, showing her picture, the website. Like I would have the information, like, and her arms cut off. So like it obviously needs to be updated, but we talk about it on almost every single channel review. Have some kind of value proposition, and if you're going to have this home, kind of like white out, I would make that like it looks like you're in Atlanta or Fayetteville. Like have that be the kind of the skyline or something, and something that really really pops, and you secondary. It's really more about the area, you know your secondary. I think most agents always are taught, brand yourself. If you're not branding yourself, then you're not doing it right. YouTube, like it's about the viewer.
Mhm.
So put in front of them what they want to see or what they want to know about, and add a really good, value proposition.
I concur. I concur. The other thing too is that this font is very hard to read.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to read. So I would actually even take your phone number and your website
Web.
off of this, mostly because when you, unless this is some kind of like Google number or something like that, this is like opening up for people to just spam the living bejesus out of you.
Yep.
And then because you're serving the Atlanta area, I would just make that background something about Atlanta, so it's easy to identify immediately that it's Atlanta. Did you say anything about this? I didn't.
Yeah, I said that needs to be taken off because there's nothing there. You can't do anything with it anymore.
Right, right. So let's go to our about section really quick. Okay. So in your about section, this is fine. That you put all this stuff in here. This is perfectly fine. But I would have, so your description is what the viewer will get from your channel. So what you want to do is let them know what you're going to be offering them in the videos that they watch from your channel. So that's what you put in your description.
If it were me, I would get rid of every link except for the relocate or the book a call. Like, all the other links are distractions from taking away from you getting a possible lead. Because once you have them on something, here's the thing with the squeeze page, and that is, once you have them on that, you can automatically add them to these other things that you're trying to educate them on. So you don't want to give them so many options. Literally, you want them to be able to click, and it goes to a squeeze page where they give you their information. That's literally all you want to do.
And the reason why we tell you not to like promote other websites or other social media sites on YouTube, first of all, just like all the other social media sites, they don't want you to leave their platform. If you're going to make them leave your platform, you better have a really good reason. So if they're leaving the platform to go look at your Facebook page, what are they going to do on that Facebook page other than like some pictures of some houses? I mean, does that do anything for you? No, it doesn't.
No, it actually will hurt you, because it will, the chances of you then getting them as a lead, it diminishes, because now they've gotten distracted doing other things. You want to keep it super simple to where they click on it, goes to a landing page, or they start watching your videos. But a lot of times what will happen is they'll watch your videos and then they'll go to the about to learn more about you. And so that's why you want to have just that video. But she does have a Calendly, so that's great. I mean, you can book a call, and that's literally all you need.
Right. And I would take that's when I would take everything else out of here. Like, you have it, take all this other stuff out. All you really want them to do is contact you. So all this other stuff is not important.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, we're going to scroll through her thumbnails a little bit here. Fayetteville, Georgia neighborhood tour. Bellarmine. Fayetteville, Georgia real estate update 2023. Dipper bounce. Peachtree cities. So I would say your titles are very generic. Like, there's nothing that's like really exciting for a person to click on. They're SEO friendly, searchable, I guess. But I mean, you can see with the amount of views you have that not many people are searching for that.
Yeah.
And then the thumbnail, they are simple. I think you work on the clarity a little bit on your own images.
She looks a little washed out.
Right, and flat.
Mm-hmm.
This whole like white outline thing is not a thing anymore. This was a style that was used. I used to do it too back in about 2018, 2019. Everybody was doing this. It's no longer a trend on YouTube, so don't do that anymore. A drop shadow will work a lot better. And then what else you want to say?
I mean, honestly, I think that's, she could be a little bigger too. I think that her head's pretty small. Like, you could fill up a third of this, like the thumbnail, like we talk about, and just give it a little bit more. I think she's doing a lot of it. Is her thumbnails are actually not bad. I think it's more that the titles need to be more juicy, and all of the thumbnails that I've seen so far are a little desaturated. Like they don't pop. They're not
Crisp.
crisp.
Right.
So, and if you don't know, like if you're designing these, you should be at the minimum, you should be designing them at like 1280 by 720, if not 1920 by 1080, but have the resolution up and make sure that when you're doing it, that you're not bringing down the image and then making it bigger, because then they get rasterized and they get blurry. So I think the biggest thing is just having a higher quality image to work with in the beginning, and then going from there.
If you're taking them with your phone, you can actually just do some quick little edits in your phone before you put it in your editor for your thumbnails. Just up the saturation and up the clarity and sharpness. That
Yep.
will save you a bunch of time.
And they'll look really good.
And they'll look really good. Like I remember the first time that I figured that out, I made a thumbnail and Malcolm Lawson was like, "Hey, what kind of camera or did you use for that thumbnail?" I'm like, because that photo looks really good. I'm like, "Oh, dude, all I did was
Just
all I did
changed a
was
couple settings in my phone.
yeah, that's all I did. But there was no magic sauce on that." So the other thing too is on this particular image, obviously you took it like this with your phone, up and down, and it cut off your arms. So if you look at the image, your arm is cut off here and your arm is cut off here. So if it was me, if you want to use that same exact image, just go ahead and blow it up even more. So your head actually takes up 1/3 of the thumbnail. And then you don't have to worry about it like blocking off right there. No one will see it.
Yep, I concur.
I concur. All right, Daphne, that will get you started for a little bit there. All right, let's go ahead to the next one here. We're going to go ahead and share this tab. All right, living in Florida Space Coast. Didn't we have somebody else on the Space Coast?
Possibly.
Yeah, I think that was Eric Larkin, wasn't it? Wasn't he in the
Oh,
Space?
yeah. We just did it.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I love her thumbnails.
Yeah, she could be a little bit bigger.
Yeah. All right. Living in Florida Space Coast. And then I would take off this Instagram thing. There's no reason for that.
And new videos every week.
I would take that off too.
And subscribe and enable notifications.
Yeah, I would take that off. You're right. And I would actually take down the blue and the green where you can actually see the Space Coast behind here.
The other thing you could do that would be kind of cool, because this is a cool area and stuff, is do that, like lower it a little bit and then have the shuttle full color,
right,
so that it just pops
right on the top.
Mm-hmm.
I concur. I don't hate the
I do like her living in Florida space with the little rocket. I like that.
Yeah, I like it too. Yep. You can just simplify this. Just take this off and take this off and bring this down a little bit. I love her profile picture. Perfect. The little rocket is cute.
She needs to get rid of the link to go to subscribe.
Right. Let's go to the about section really quick. So that's the first. See, that's what you put as a link is for them to subscribe, but they're already on YouTube, so they know to subscribe. So what I would do is make it go to a landing page where you collect their information, like we've said several times. What do you say, my friend?
I agree. Let me read this real quick. So it's a pretty new channel, and she's got quite a few views already.
Yeah, November 2022, 47,000 views. Are you wondering what it's like to live in the Space Coast? Well, this is the channel for you need. Absolutely. All right. See how she's not talking about herself?
Yeah, I like it.
She literally gave the value proposition to the people actually watching the channel.
Yeah,
and then she talked about herself. That was perfect.
But the other thing is that it looks like and I don't know with her content, we'd have to look at it. It looks like she's identified her niche, and her niche is relocation.
Yep. Very good. Very, very good.
Yeah, but you're just missing out on leads because you don't have any kind of way to capture their information.
Yep. Top 5 mistakes to avoid buying a home in Melbourne. See, even this is a really good title, but I would find a way to shorten it down, because what I've noticed, and I noticed this at Vidsummit with the people that have like really huge channels, the shorter the title, the shorter, more impactful the title, the better the content did.
Right. But they
So
also talked a lot about how much time they spent in refining that title.
yeah. Yeah. So I would just tighten up your titles just a little bit. Yeah. Because you like all of these say top 5, so you're kind of oversaturating your audience with top 5, top 5, top 5.
Yeah, you're running over your own views.
Yep. I would space that out. So it would be like top 5 living in, moving to, like I would variate those instead of top 5, top 5, top 5.
Yep.
Yep, yep, yep.
I like her thumbnails though. They're clean, they pop. She could be a little bit bigger on them, but other than
Less
that,
wordy. Less
yeah.
wordy. I would like that. Like this could be bigger over here and but then again, it's like hiring high paying jobs in Melbourne, Florida, top 5 industries and employees. Why you're talking
Yeah.
about real estate.
Yeah,
Like,
that's not you're not like the Department of Workforce Services.
yeah. I think she has a little trouble identifying her avatar and what they need. I know it's about relocation, right? So what you
That's
would do is like the neighborhoods around the top places that people are hiring, right? That would
yeah.
make more sense.
Yep, or the suburbs that they wanna live in because it's closest to the top paying jobs, those types of
Right.
things.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. All right. Let's go to the next one. I'll give you a little tips there. I'll help you out. All right. Keith Lucas. It says South Carolina. I don't know what your channel's about other than South Carolina. That could be various things. If I'm looking at this banner and it says, honest to God, with the banner, the background, and everything like that, I'm saying this is a comedy club. That's
So
I
I
think.
was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say that. This is comedy, and even, like, the way that he's doing this, it's kinda like,
Uh-huh.
like it comedy, like, maybe it is.
I don't know. Educate, inspire, and entertain you about South Carolina. Hmm. Yeah, I would work on this. If there's, I assure you, with every fiber of my being, there is some beautiful areas in South Carolina that you could use as a background. And if you didn't want it, like honestly, if you just didn't want to write any words on there, you don't need
It
to.
would be fine.
Yeah.
You could just use the background of that.
And your background like that and just have yourself just like this. I
Yep.
mean, it would be perfectly fine. I think I think even Javier does that. He just has a bunch of people in the background,
Yeah, I
like
think it's just like he's just showing, like, testimonials of people.
right. So just that's what I would do. Okay, let's look at your about section really quick. Keith, 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 Keith. All right. Educate, inspire, entertain you about South Carolina, whether you're retiring or you're retiring, relocating, or just visiting here. I'm a lover of South Carolina and all things Southern. I'm a realtor. Okay, so this is the first sentence you were doing good. And then you jumped right into me, I. You want to make this sound like what you're going to do for them. Because as much as, I know as real estate agents, because I'm one of them too, we all love to talk about ourselves, but nobody really gives a crap about us. If we're going to be
Yeah.
honest, they're like, what's in it for me? So I'd make this about them. Make that next paragraph about them.
The other thing that I would say is, like, focus on the part about real estate. Like, you're saying whether you're retiring, relocating, or just visiting, like, you don't like, you want it to be something about, like, hey, you're buying a house, you're moving here. Like, I'm here to show you everything about, the area. When it's visiting, it's more like, oh, is this like a, tourist stop? Am I going to get, like, places? And maybe even some of the videos are put out that way, but that's where I would focus on your strategy of, if it's relocation, if it's retired life, whatever it is, like, focus on that type of stuff. But he does have a Calendly.
But I was just going to say, look at that though. He's so
Yep.
smart. He did it right. He did it right. I just take this part off, honestly, because all you really want them to do is contact you. I mean, if you want to leave it there, that's fine. But if it
Yep.
was
But
me,
the book of call is the way you're going to get leads.
I concur. I concur. All right. So we're gonna give a quick thing on his because we're running over on time. But
Yep.
all right. This was the best one. If I had to pick out the top 3, which one is your favorite? The one on the right. This is a great thumbnail. But I would have made it so you're in South Carolina, so I would say what income do you need to retire for a retirement home in South Carolina?
Yeah. The other thing is there's not really a playlist strategy. I
Right.
mean, he's talking about National Association of Realtors, like the shot. Like, is he educating realtors or is he like
He's not identified his avatar, but it
right
looks like he talks a lot about retarees, and that would be a smart thing for him to
to
educate
focus on? Yep.
focus on, because there is a lot of people retiring to that area. So
Right.
that's who your avatar. Think about it like that. It looks like you probably had somebody making your thumbnails for a little while. And then
Maybe a
you
few
talked
different
about,
people
yeah, yeah.
because
So
the styles are very different.
they are. Yep. So I just would identify your avatar a little bit better and start making more content for them. All right, let's jump to the next one. Uh-huh. All right, Sean Connors. I'm sorry, we're going to do the speed round. We're doing the speed round. All right, Sean Connors, real estate investor and runner. Real estate tips, strategies for new investors and runners. Are you a runner or are you a real estate channel? You don't give tips for running and real estate. That is two completely different people. Am I wrong?
No, like exactly what you just said. What we try to show is that if you'll get very specific on the type of niche and a type of avatar, that your views they'll go so much higher. But what you're doing is you're confusing YouTube's AI to say, well, I do health and I do real estate. And so then it doesn't really know what video to sell or to send to who. And so you really need to decide. You could have two channels, I guess, if you wanted, and do one that's
He does, though. And right on his front page, he's already sending people to somewhere else. I would get these off your front page.
so now that's an investment one, like
Yeah.
vacation rental stuff.
Yeah. Short-term rental guy and the VR real. I would 100% move this over to channels. There's a little tab right here. I would not have this on your front page of your YouTube channel. Oh, okay. All right. So let's look at his. That's pretty funny. Did you see that little Airbnb
Yeah,
on
the
his?
Airbnb.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Um, I don't think that the thumbnail tells a story of this title. So it says what they don't tell you about investing in the Poconos, right?
Yeah, you either need to have something in like a map of the Poconos, you need to have Airbnb bigger, you need to have like maybe a house of it, something. Yes, no. Like, is that yes, no? I'm gonna get a tattoo of Airbnb on my forehead, or like it's not the thumbnail's not clear of what you're offering.
Nope, but he is big enough in that one.
No, he definitely is because you can see
Yeah.
how wide his eyes are.
I'd still make my noggin bigger. You know me. I like a
Yeah,
big old
you
noggin.
could do it. I think the other thing too is, and you tell me what your thoughts are using emojis in your title.
So that actually, I asked Daryl about that. I asked him if it would give you, because I heard somebody, this was one of those,
Google juice.
it'll give you some more Google juice. That was one of those guys said that would give you Google juice. Okay, so how the algorithm, the AI reads that is exactly what it is. So it says, what they won't tell you about investing in the Poconos, and then it will say like winky face. That's how
Yeah.
it reads it. So it's like investment property 101, your first purchase house. That's how it reads it. So it reads it like
Mhm.
a title word. So yeah, I don't like them. I don't know if they necessarily, I don't know. I have the data to say if they hurt them or not, but that was enough for me to hear from Daryl to say, don't do it, to not do it.
Yeah. I think when I see Daryl doing that, then I'll start doing it.
Well, if he tells me to do it, I got lost in my sweater here. Yeah. When Daryl tells me to do it, then I'll do it. But he's always said don't do it. So there was a girl in the and Channel Jumpstart that was doing that. He's like, "What are you doing?" When he said that, I was like, "Ooh."
And you're like, nothing. Just
Okay.
kidding.
So this whole channel is about real estate investing. At least he is very clear on who his avatar is.
Yeah.
But if then he's talking about short-term rentals here, but then he has another channel on short-term rentals. So just make sure you're not like doubling up. I don't know if you're doing this or not. Another thing too, I mean, that's awesome that you share your story on your channel, but just it doesn't really relate to what your channel is about. So just be careful on what you're putting there. Be very specific on one specific avatar, because either you're a runner or a real estate investor. And you can mention that you're a runner in your videos, but that doesn't really relate to investing homes.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say is if you're going to do that, having your personality and the things that you love, you can talk about that all day long in your videos, as long as you work that into your whole purpose is to educate about real estate. And there's plenty of people that will do that either through location or other things, how they'll mention where they live and in their area this, but then they talk on a broader audience. But to have like videos specifically for that, it's just going to confuse the algorithm, and the viewers you're just not going to get the views that you could get.
I love these thumbnails, except for one thing. And do you know what it is?
The episodes?
Yes. Yeah, take the word episode off of there. Yep. Yep. But yeah, I think you're on your way. You're gonna be fine. The thing I was gonna tell you, I wanted you to be careful of is if you're using this channel as like one investment thing, don't duplicate the same video on the other channel that you have that I see right here about short-term rentals. Don't duplicate that content over here.
You'll
You
get
can't
in
do that.
big trouble with that.
Well, you could have your channel removed. So
That's what I'm saying.
it could happen. It can happen. All right, let's go right here. Welcome to my world. Where your real estate investing aspirations running to come together. Since commit. This is very like you. So I would try to make this more focused on one specific avatar and what they're going to get from your channel. Because but we also focus on nurturing a healthy, vibrant lifestyle along the way. They're trying to buy a house. They're trying to buy investment property. They don't need somebody preaching to them on how they should have a vibrant lifestyle.
Yeah, if they're going to want that, they'll go to a coaching site or to where they can learn about that kind of stuff.
Correct. We buy homes in Greater Philadelphia and Poconos cash. Looking for a cash offer. I don't know what your focus is on this channel. I'm kind of confused. Are you looking for investors, or are you looking for people that are trying to sell their home in cash? Because people that are trying to sell their home cash isn't going to be looking at your stuff for investing, right?
Yeah, I think he just needs to get a little bit more clear on the direction that he wants to go as far as his niche, and have that kind of be the strategy moving forward. And I get it, because we all deal with like, like different buyers in different situations. And so we're like, one day we're a luxury agent, the next we're doing land deals, and the next we're selling a modular home or something like that. And so like I feel like that's kind of like what happens on our channels. And really, this is a platform for us to market and to generate leads. And so in order to maximize that, you need to be specific and concise. So find something that you like, find something that you can talk about, and be very specific on that and be consistent. And then you'll start seeing that your views will go up, because YouTube is like, oh, he's talking about this and he's consistently talking about this, so we're going to push that out there.
Yep. All right. Well, we're going to do one more, and then we're calling it quits.
All right.
All right. We got Jacob Kendrick in Midland, Texas real estate. Okay. Helping you discover Midland, Texas on YouTube. You're close with this. The thing is, they are on YouTube, so you don't need to tell them that you're on YouTube. So I would say help discover real estate in Midland, Texas. You don't have to put on YouTube. They know where they're at. What do you say, Joe?
Yeah, same thing.
Yep. But I mean, I love the colors and everything.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily have to have a skyline or anything like that, but really just having your message clear, and then yeah, just get rid of YouTube because they already know it.
Yeah, just that's fine. And then I love his profile picture.
Yep.
Nice, clear, beautiful smile. All right, let's look. Okay. The only limits that exist are the limits that you place on yourself. If you're looking for a trusted real estate agent in Midland, Texas, I'm the guy looking for. I'm Jacob Kendrick with a Bolt Real Estate Group. We help you homeowners. Okay, I'd move this whole thing backwards. Like
Yep.
start with this paragraph and then move it down. What do you say?
Yeah, same thing. It's a very common trend I think that we see as we do these reviews
Uh-huh.
is that like just going back and even having someone like look at it and read it and say what's the value proposition and how can it be them, and then oh, here's where you can contact to learn more. And almost every single one that we review has that structure, and if they just take the last paragraph or close to the last paragraph and put that at the front, then it fixes the whole description.
Yep. Yep. And if you ever get confused on it, I tell you people all the time this. Just put this like copy paste chat GPT, say, can you make this more client focused than myself focused? And they'll just
Yep, it's done.
yeah, 2 seconds. All right, I just take off these social media links. Nobody like you really just want them to contact you, and I'm hoping that this link will reach to a landing page that will capture their information. So I wanted to give you that really quick. All right, let's do your thumbnails really fast. All right. Is now a good time to buy a house in Midland, Texas? I don't hate the title and I don't hate the thumbnail. I wish he was a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I'd like to see his expression on his face a little bit more.
Yeah, so I would have like kind of pulled you to the left a little bit more and like made your head a little bit bigger and then moved the buy a little bit over to the right and then made the house a little bit bigger. So it
Yeah,
was
so yeah, like what it is it's a rule of thirds, right? So
right.
you would take up like 1/3 of that thumbnail, and then the 2/3 would be buy in the house.
Yep. Yep. The buy would be a third and then the house would be a third. Correct. You got it. Yep. I don't hate the title and I don't hate the thumbnail, but just need little tweaks, small tweaks, big peaks.
Yep.
All right. Making an offer on a house in Midland. I would move you to the left and I'd make that image on the right even bigger. And then I would show something like that what you're pointing to something on there. Show what you're pointing to. Make it express that like, dropped 20% or reduced 20K, like on there. So people are like, oh, what's that? What does that mean?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Scroll down just a little bit. I want to see something else here. So look at this. So he at least is adjusting, because see how he has the white outline on most of them, and then you go up, and then his newer ones, he's gotten rid of them. So
I think it looks better.
Right. That's what I was just going to say is if you look at him, he just has a very soft drop shadow on those, and they pop more. And that's what we've been talking about, is that if you just remove that stroke or the white shadow and to have a drop shadow, it's going to just look more natural.
It looks more real instead of like almost this looks like cartoony.
Right.
And if you had a kids channel, that'd be one thing, but you don't.
Yeah, this is real estate.
Grown adults. I would work on your content strategy. Like reviewing restaurants in your area is not going to bring you business. I promise you with every fiber of my being, I know that you heard some coach tell you to be the digital mayor for your area, and that's going to bring you business. It's been proven time and time again that is complete and total malarkey.
Yeah. You might get the business from the restaurant that
Yep.
you did the video for, but that's it.
That is it. And you put a lot of time, work, and effort into this. And you'll get them as clients. Don't get me wrong, but you won't get anybody from that as a client that wants to like, oh, I saw you from the food review.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
You have any other places you recommend for me to eat rather
Yeah.
than, hey, do you have like a real estate? Do you want to help me buy some real estate?
Yep. Yep. Um, but other than that, I mean, you're honestly, your thumbnails are like
They're very clean.
very clean. Like this is very clear, easy to read. And like from what I learned from Vidsummit, um, circling back to that, I wonder if you took that same exact image and used a real picture of a house in Midland, Texas, in the
Yep.
background,
You could
and then
still keep the arrow and all the text and just change the background picture of the house.
yep, that would be a good test. Since this isn't even an older video as well, so most likely the views have died off. So you might as well give it a try.
Yeah, it's not going to hurt anything.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to do that, you might as well adjust your title just a little bit too.
Yeah, consider when upsizing a new. I would say what no one tells you about upsizing to a new home.
Yep.
That's more intriguing. Yeah, but I mean, he has all the little elements.
Yeah,
Really, just some salt.
yeah, they're all the ingredients are all there. It's just got to get put in the right direction and order.
Yeah, you got to put them in the pot in the right order. That's it. Well, this is a really good thumbnail. But that again, this has nothing to do with your content. It's like taking a hot sauna, a cold plunge, joining the 6-minute club at Morph. You're you're selling real estate. What does that have to do with real
Dude,
estate?
you could do something like that. I guess if you were really big into something like that, you could, if you had a house that had a cold plunge in it or something like that, you could be talking about that and that this is the rave and you could have something in there. But ideally, all of these things that are happening, you want to work that into the purpose of why you're making your content. And that is to sell real estate.
Yep. Yep. Oh, and they're so much better than these thumbnails.
Yeah.
I did this too. I did this. This is because this is what the coaches told us to do. The first thing that I learned from Vidsummit is that a lot of people that are coaching us in the real estate niche have no idea about YouTube.
Right.
So yeah, you've improved greatly since you started. I just would focus on a content strategy and figure out who your avatar is, and you would be well on your way. Well on your way. So with that, my friend, that's the last one I'm doing today because we are way over time. So
we got a lot though. So, we went through, how many we go through? At least 5, right?
oh, we're more than 5.
Yeah.
Maybe we're more than 5. I think we did like 7 or 8.
If we didn't get through to you, we will go back and do it next week because we're here every single week. We're here to help each and every one of you increase your YouTube views, your presence on it, the content, and then ultimately our goal is for you to get more organic leads by using YouTube and all of the things that it has to offer.
This guy, this poor Aaron, we were supposed to do his. We have to do his.
Let's do his right now.
Oh, okay. We're going to do it right now.
Right now, Aaron, we're really sorry, man. I think
I don't know why this happens to him.
This is the very last one. I sent the link in there. You should have it. Do you have it?
Let me look.
Aaron, we're sorry, man.
I don't know why this
really
happens to him. Why does this always happen to him? Poor guy. All right. Can you see him?
Yes, I could see it.
All right, Aaron. So sorry. All right. We'll start with the banner first. Let's take our time on it. So first of all, you got a lot going on in your banner. Yeah. There's too much. You've subscribed to learn about living in the greater Seattle, Washington area, serving home buyers and sellers in King Pierce, blah, 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 blah. I would tighten this message up a lot. There's just too many words. You don't need to tell them to subscribe. They're on YouTube. There's a big subscribe button over here. There's a subscribe button. And let me just tell you something too. If they start watching your content, YouTube follows them and starts haunting them with the other content that you've done. So like if they want to subscribe, they're going to subscribe.
Yep.
He's got the new videos every week, calls, texts us on Zoom. I take all that off. I would work on your value proposition here. And I would take all this off. And I would if you're in Seattle, show the Seattle area. You barely
He
see it.
kind of has it, but it's his head's kind of covering it, and then it's like light, blurred out and light.
Yeah.
That should be like, I mean, it's gorgeous. Like that should be like really bright.
Front and center. Front and
Yep.
center. And the other thing I want everybody to realize too, I want you to start optimizing for television. I mentioned this before, is that if you're only filling out this area, a lot more people are watching you on TV. Don't do that. Like fill out the whole entire thing. Even though you're only seeing this on the desktop, you'd be shocked how many people are watching on television.
Yep.
Shocked. So make sure you optimize this for TV.
I concur.
Yeah, I burped. Excuse me. I didn't mean to. I didn't know if it sounded really loud in the microphone.
I didn't even hear it.
Real good. All right, I do love this. Look, right at the top of the fold, it goes right to his Calendly. Perfect.
Yep. Very, very easy to get a hold of you.
I'm gonna fuss at you. You cut off your shoulder right there. I don't care if you put a word over or not. I can see it.
Yep.
You cannot have cut off images. What do you have to say, Joe?
So I probably, one, there's too much text. It's just, there's a lot on there. I think you could do the exact same thing with just the drop and the arrow going down, or even just the arrow going down. Like that literally is going to talk about stuff. The other thing is your title, Seattle real estate market update, September 2023. So after that, no one's going to care because you've dated it. Like I would keep it more evergreen, even if it is a market update or whatever. Like the goal is to get people to watch it. And when you have titles that have dates in there, as soon as we get, because like right now we're in what are we in? No, October. So in 2 months, 3 months, it's going to be like no one's going to care about September 2023. Like,
right. I would also like for the words, if you're going to put words on there, I would have just put big shift, right?
Yeah.
With the space needle in the background with that arrow, and then put a drop shadow on the arrow. I take the white on the outside of you off and put a drop shadow on that.
And make sure, like you said, have the shoulder. And I would have a couple variations. I think this is the thing that, like the other thing that we talk a lot about is don't just do the thumbnail as an afterthought. Like the thumbnail should be the very first thing that you create. And if you can get a good thumbnail put together, then put your video together. Don't do it the other way around where you film and make your video and then you're like, oh, I spent my heart and soul on this video and it's amazing. And then you take 2 seconds and put a thumbnail together. It just won't give you the views that you need. It goes back to that packaging that we talked about at the first of the stream.
Yep. This you're too small. Do you know what? Just take yourself off this, right? And then I would make the title. We bought a home in Lakewood, Washington. That one should have been the title.
Yeah. And then you could just have the couple. You could just have the couple there holding the keys.
Yeah. Move the couple over to the left and show the house.
Yeah.
Take you off. That was one of those things that you didn't need to have yourself on there. It actually almost confuses the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like you bought one or they bought one or
right. And then it says Greater Seattle housing crash is over. Again, you're cut off. You got your arm cut off on this.
You know, one thing we should talk about too is it looks like his content's about 4 minutes to 5 minutes long. Maybe some of them are longer, but like really try your best to get over 8.5 minutes, if not like 9 minutes or 10 minutes. The longer that you can make your video that with good content, the better off you're going to be. So just get in the habit of trying to hit that 9-minute mark at least. I mean, we say you could do it for, 8 minutes and 32 seconds or something, but like 9 minutes, just shoot for 9 minutes. The more that you can do that, the better off you're going to be in the long run.
Do you see he's cut off again? He's cut off here. He's cut off here. I'm going to fuss at you about that.
That's the same picture. He just,
yeah.
Well, it's very similar. It looks a little different.
Yeah, it's different because he's got hair, like he's got more hair going here. It's a different picture. But I will say this. The one thing if you're going to do tours, I would take off the area that is in. and just use the house and the cost of the house in the background. I
Yeah.
like that you use the cost of the house behind the tree line, the roof line of that house. That was smart. I would take yourself off of there altogether. Just
Yeah.
the house and the price. That's it.
And make the price a little bigger.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
other than that, yeah.
Same with over here too. Same thing.
Did we do his about section? We
Oh
probably should
no.
do that.
But yeah, well, it's gonna show, look, it's gonna show Calendly. Right here. Boom. Because he's smart. He's listened. I moved this though. Meet
Yep.
us in person. I moved that down a little bit. And again, this isn't about you.
It's about the viewer.
About the viewer. So I would change that for the viewer. Yeah. I just like throw this in Chat GPT, have them make it for the viewer, move that section down to the bottom. But thank you for listening and
yeah, and we're sorry that we've meant to do it at least 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks now. We're really sorry. We feel really bad, man.
I know, I do. So, but I mean, there's some good things to get him started there. And I know he's watched a couple of these now because we were supposed to review them. So it will get him started. And when you get those things fixed, let us know and we'll review again.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, we have put in our work. Well, you know what? We weren't here last week, so.
Yeah, so we're kind of making up for it now.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, Joe, we'll see you next Thursday. Next Thursday, we'll start talking about securing your channel and how incredibly important it is. Just by doing some minor tweaks on your security, it could really save your life, save your channel. You don't want to lose your income. Oh, look, he said, thank you so much.
He hung around.
I'm so like,
we're glad you did.
We are so sorry. I'm like, thank you so much. I appreciate you sticking it out with us. Cause I don't know. I would have been probably pretty irked off.
Yeah. But hey, now you have your marching orders. Go ahead and get started on it and then submit it again and we'll help you again.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. 100%. So yeah, next week we're talking about security. And it's highly important. And we'll be here again. And look, you know what? We were showing all these channels and everything. But you can always check the squeeze pages out so you can own your information. And don't forget that we offer a YouTube course, and all you have to do is visit realestatevideogeeks.com, realestatevideogeeks.com in order to get signed up for our course. So, all right, Joe Eves.
Hey,
see you next week.
Thank you so much, Christina. And we will, and you guys, seriously, sign up for more channel reviews. We love doing these things. And we love seeing the progress as you implement the things that we talk about.
I concur, Joe Eves. All right. So long.
Okay. See ya.
Be good.
Bye.